This is the last one for this specific post. Do honor the feelings of black people. This kitten is very, very young, and this is not the time to be rambunctious. Hey bananners, welcome back or welcome to my channel. This is like the third time I've been trying to film this. I have a new kitten, and she's just driving me insane right now. She keeps chewing on everything. So today's video, as you saw by the title, is going to be part one of probably a two-part video series, if you will. And this is for the white people. This is for the white people who support the Black Lives Matter movement, who support all black lives, who want to do better, who want to become better allies, or for those white people who want to help but don't know how. This is for you. All of these posts that I'm going to read are from Instagram. I will at all of the users below. None of this is my original stuff. This is all from other people. They will be listed below. If I can figure out how to put text on with this new editing software, I'll also put their username somewhere on the screen. If not, they'll be listed in the description box regardless of whether that happens or not. So I am going to put in a little clip of a screen recording that I took from Instagram that has black-owned brands for different products at Target. Now, I feel like Target was problematic for something. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I don't remember what it was. But if Target is still relevant, that'll, you know, okay. If not, then I guess just ignore the fact that I haven't said anything. So, the first post that I'm going to be looking through is called How to Ally, Do's and Don'ts. And this is by Waste Free Marie. And some of these usernames are a little hard to pronounce, so if I pronounce them wrong, please correct me in the comments. So this is How to Ally, and it goes back and forth between a do and a don't. Do, check yourself. Racism is indoctrinated and systemic. Even if you're actively fighting against the racism of our families, friends, and peers, you continue to benefit from centuries of oppression. Refrain from centering yourself in a movement that deserves your support, but is not about you, in which you are not an authority. Like I said, my kitten is running around, so that's what you hear. I don't know if it's picking up. It probably is, but I'm gonna apologize now because it's literally after 9 o'clock, and she's super rambunctious all of a sudden. Don't talk to us about your white guilt. While you may think this is helpful, realize that you feel guilty because of how badly we are persecuted. If you think racism is upsetting, imagine how they feel. Obviously, this is written by a black person, so I'm not going to say how we feel because I'm not black. So anything with we, us, our, I'm obviously going to paraphrase and say like they, them, like, you know, because it's not me. Why are they spending time working through our guilt instead of working to fight their persecution? Doing this prioritizes white feelings over black lives. Do talk about racism with other white people. Have uncomfortable conversations about prejudice with other white people in your life. Realize that in these social situations you hold power and privilege. You need to initiate these conversations so that race isn't a topic only addressed after a black person has been persecuted. Be proactive rather than reactive. Don't expect black people to educate you. I've said this already twice in 2 different videos. Educate yourself. Google things. Ask. If you don't know what questions to ask how to ask the right questions. Do your research. They aren't your personal set of encyclopedias. The expectation of black people to explain themselves and their struggles to you, to us, is an example of white supremacy. This upholds the ideology that black people are to serve us and that black people owe us something. If you learn from a black educator, compensate them financially. Do act with urgency. To the black man, wait has always meant never. Understand that for generations, they have been told to wait. Their grandparents were told to wait, their parents were told to wait, and now they are being told to wait. Like James Baldwin said, they are tired of waiting for our so-called progress. Don't compare racism to struggles you have experienced. While it may be a well-intentioned attempt at empathy, this conversational pivot prioritizes our struggles over racial discrimination. In drawing comparisons to our own life, we are putting ourselves at the center of an issue that has nothing to do with us. This mental comparison can help us empathize, but will never feel the burden of racism. Now, let me just quickly stop. And for the white people who have said, are saying right now, or are thinking, well, can't people be racist towards white people? No. People can be rude, but no. No. We were never oppressed. We were never oppressed. And honestly, I'm not even going to lie to you, if you feel some type of way about saying that people can't be racist towards white people, just get off this video. Get off my channel. Because this is not the channel for you. So no. People cannot be racist towards white people because whites have never been oppressed for anything. So, I hate to break it to you, but it's facts. Do call out and reject white privilege you witness or experience. Notice that the answer isn't regarded as correct until the white person reiterates it. Notice how you were offered awards or jobs that only go to white people. Call these things out and reject them. You have to give up your privilege to level the playing field. And if you don't notice these things, start paying attention. Don't practice white saviorism. We are not their savior. We're not rescuing them from their own situation. We are simply making an effort to lessen the hurt that we've caused. Don't give ourselves a gold medal for doing what we're supposed to do. While our instinct may be defensiveness, listen earnestly to Black voices and Black stories. Put Black people's feelings ahead of our own. Start giving Black people the benefit of the doubt. Do not tell Black people how to mourn, feel, or protest in response to their oppression. So that was everything in the first post. I have 3 more posts to read from, so honestly, I hope you're taking notes. And if you're not, get a pen and paper and start taking notes. This is from Megan Curie. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this is called Our Silence is Betrayal. This is from a white person and how we can use our voices to speak up and not speak for. Recognize your white privilege. White privilege means you actively benefit from the oppression of people of color. Recognize your privilege. And then it goes into specifics. You don't get harassed for existing in public locations. You can safely walk down the street or drive around without fear of being murdered. You are the dominant representation in all media. The ability to stay silent or be neutral on political stands because the policies don't affect you directly. Systemic racism. Black graduates are 2 times more likely to be unemployed. Black students are 3 times more likely to be suspended. Black Americans make up 40% of the prison population. Black Americans are 30% more likely to get pulled over. Black Americans are shown 18% fewer homes. And in parentheses, up at the top and the bottom says, and this is just a small glance at the privilege and a small glance at the oppression. If you don't think white privilege exists, then you are benefiting from white privilege. You are not being oppressed when another group gains rights that you've always had. And then here's another one that has a bunch of little things. What should I do with my white privilege? Use it to expose and uproot injustice. Your privilege can be a tool to reach people who may be more likely to listen to or relate to your journey in understanding your own relationship with race and privilege. Change yourself and others to refuse to live in a system of unchecked privilege. Speak up. We cannot keep placing the burden of taking the lead on anti-bias work on people of color's shoulders. And I know that, I don't know if it's some people or all people, I know that there is like a line with referring to black people as people of color. I am saying people of color according to this post. I'm just going to throw that out there real quick. Push through uncomfortable conversations. Don't let your peers or strangers get away with problematic comments, blatant racist remarks, or actions. Listen. Do not dominate the conversation when people of color are sharing their experiences of oppression. Use your privilege. Why can't I say privilege? Use your privilege to hear and amplify those voices. Support black-owned businesses, which was shown from Target before. Make sure your social media feed is diverse. It is not enough to be not racist. We need to be actively anti-racist. If your timeline is basically looking back to normal, what's going on? Like, check your surroundings. Somebody once said, I don't remember who it was, but somebody once said, you are who you surround yourself with. And ever since I heard that, I have thought about that constantly. You are who you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with a bunch of people who think it's okay to make racist jokes, congratulations. You're practically racist. Educate yourself. While it is good to ask questions and have conversation, it is not a person of color's job to educate you, which is what I said from the previous post. Seek resources. Read articles and words written by people of color. Watch documentaries. Learn and share with other white people. There's a select number of movies on, I think movies and shows, on Netflix and Hulu that are, what's the word I'm looking for? That are shining a light on the struggles that black people have and are going through. And I would definitely check those out if I were you. So if you have Netflix or Hulu, I don't know what the title is for Netflix, but I know on Hulu it says, I believe it says Black Stories. I believe that's what it's under. White silence is violence. We've been new. Here is a little one that says, like, when a white person says one thing, this is basically what it means. So, I don't see race. Translation. I'm going to use my place of privilege to deny the sufferings of those who do not have white privilege, while at the same time erasing their personal and cultural history. I'm neutral in politics. Translation. I'm going to use my place of privilege to deny basic human rights to everyone, because I am not affected by these issues. Therefore, they don't exist. I have the luxury of picking and choosing what causes and issues I pay attention to. And the last post for this specific one says, becoming aware of your privilege is not a burden or a source of guilt. It is an opportunity to learn and be responsible so that we may work toward a world where racism and injustices are inexcusable, no matter how big or small. So that is the end of that one. The third one that I have is by Asian Boss Girl, and it's called Resources for Allyship, and it was compiled by Nikki Sun on Instagram. For this specific one, I'm going to list both of them together because the person who compiled it is not the person who posted it. Resources for Allyship. In what ways does my proximity to whiteness afford me privileges that aren't extended to black and brown people? In what ways have I been conditioned to believe in the superiority of whiteness? In what ways have I engaged in rhetoric that promotes othering or stereotyping of black people? What can I do to better educate myself of the historical context of race in the country and community I exist in? And then this one has donation links. I will post a little picture so you can see them like better. I'll also put them in the description. And then the next one is books to read, and I'll everything that like doesn't have like actual like words to read, I'll put a little picture. One of these books is White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo, and I said it once, I've said it before, literally have TikToks on it. Like, I'm ready to do like round 3 of white fragility on TikTok. This book is so good because it literally explains why white people can't talk about racism, because it's so good. It is so good. Like, it really gets you to like check yourself and like really reflect on what you can do to better yourself and to speak up about what's going on. And then the next thing is to watch, and I believe, like I said, I believe most of these are on Netflix. The next one is to listen, and I believe these are podcasts. Pretty sure these are podcasts. And then the next one is to petition. The one after that is to share. And that is the last one for this post. The last post I have to talk about is from Meng Wei. If I'm not pronouncing that, please correct me in the comments. It is called, "If you are not black, do not say the N-word." Let me say that again, because I don't know if you heard me. If you are not black, do not say the N-word. I'll let that sink in a little bit. That includes in songs, by the way. Why can't I say the N-word if I'm not black? Reason number 1, you aren't black. Reason number 2, refer to reason number 1. Reason number 3, refer to reason number 2, which refers to reason number 1. The N-word was a derogatory term used by white people to degrade and chastise black people for centuries. It is a word that will always be associated with the long history of slavery, oppression, and racial discrimination against black people in the U.S. The word is inextricably linked with violence and brutality against black people. The N-word is a term that is rooted in anti-black racism and white supremacy. If you are not black and you use this word, you are affirming systems of oppression directed towards black people. You are feeding the oppressive and racist system that was created and carried out by the racist white people who came before you. Non-black people of color, when you use the N-word, you are also feeding the anti-black culture in your communities. It doesn't matter if you are a person of color and have also experienced discrimination. The N-word was not used as a form of oppression towards you or your community. Ways people try to justify saying the N-word. Here we go. I know a few people come to mind when I think of these. I have black friends. I didn't mean it in a bad way. It's in a song lyric. Black people say it, why can't I? I was given an N-word pass. I'm going to talk about that. I was reading out loud in class and the N-word was in the text I was reading. I'm from the hood. I didn't say it, I typed it. I didn't say it out loud, I mouthed it. I was repeating something a black friend of mine said. My black friend said that they are okay with me saying it. I am a person of color. My adopted siblings are black. So, really quick, going back to the N-word pass, I have actually heard a black person say, like, yeah, I don't care if you say the N-word, like, you have, like, the N-word pass for me, like, you know, I don't care. I know some people might take that as, you know, cool. They'll say the N-word up, down, left, or right, sideways. Me personally, I don't care if I have the pass. I'm not comfortable saying it. I'm not comfortable singing it in a song lyric. To be honest with you, I'm going to expose myself a little bit. When I'm in the comfort of my own home and we're listening to a song that has the N-word in it, I put my cat's name in place of it. I will literally say Lulu instead. Because A, that's just how I am. And B, I'm not black, so I'm not going to say the N-word. So, yeah. If you are a white person and the only time you say the N-word is in songs, stop. Stop. S-T-O-P, stop. There is no such thing as the N-word pass. I just said it, and now it's reiterated. A black person saying the N-word in a song does not create the public license to use it. If you are not reading, if you are reading out loud in class and the N-word is on the page, skip it. You are not mandated by any law to read every word on the page. No one is going to punish you for not reading that word. And really quickly, with me being a future teacher, I'm going to be an elementary teacher, so the chances of that word coming up in a piece of literature are extremely slim. However, if you are a teacher and like you're reading some kind of work that has the N-word in it, and like you actually require like a white student to say that word, I just want to talk. And if you had a teacher that required you to do that and you're white, let me know. I just want to talk to them, you know, find out what's going on. It does not matter if one of your black friends said it was okay. Being from the hood doesn't make you black. And that's actually, like, racist. Like, on a level, saying that you're from the hood is racist because black people are just about forced to live in these low-income areas. Like, that's the short version of a very long issue. So, that's racist on a level, saying you're from the hood. Black people say the N-word, why can't I? The black community has taken a word that was, and still is, used as a racial slur and made it theirs. The black community has reclaimed the N-word and redefined it to be a symbol of community, as opposed to an insult. I still don't understand why I, a non-black person, can't say it. If you're dealing with these kinds of people, actually, and you stay calm, like, God bless you. God bless your soul. Because at this point, I probably would have, honestly, at least, like, cursed them out twice, you know? Black people were born into a world where anti-black racism prevails. The difference between a black person and a non-black person is that a black person lives in a world where a police officer might kill them because of the color of their skin. Black people all have to deal with the same oppressive situations. Non-black people don't. And then the last piece that I'm going to touch on in this part of the video. If you are not a black person and you use the N-word, stop. Let me say it again. If you are not a black person and you use the N-word, stop. Stop. If you hear someone who is not black using the N-word, call them out and explain to them why they should not be using it. If you are called out for using the N-word, sit in the discomfort. Educate yourself on why you should not be saying it and learn from that. If you're a white person and you get actually offended as to why you shouldn't say the N-word, all I could do is pray for you, because that's wild, dude. That's the nicest thing I can say, because I try not to curse on my channel. The nicest thing I can say is that's wild, dude. So that is it for this part of this two-part series. I really am hoping that the next part is it's gonna be super interesting. I've never done anything like this before. I'm not even gonna tell you what it is, because I think, me personally, because it was my idea, I think it's like super cool. And the people that I did ask the questions to also thought it was super cool. And it was really nice getting to hear different answers from the black community and basically getting educated further. And I'm really excited to do this part because I'm really excited to help you guys educate yourselves so you guys can be better allies. So like I said, that is it for this part of our two-part series. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you are an ally to the Black Lives Matter movement, subscribe. If you like chocolate cake, subscribe. And if you want to meet my new kitten, subscribe. If you wonder what I'm going to be up to, all my social media will be listed down below like always, along with everything that I said I was going to list. I will see you in the next one. Bye!